Good morning students. Welcome to operating system class. Today here I am going to explain about the classification of computers. Means what type of computers we have. Okay. So actually this computers can be classified. Computers can be classified in variety of ways. Computers can be classified in variety of ways based on its size, its functionality, its price, and its working environment. Okay, so means the classification is based on different categories. We have number of computers and the functionality of that computers is different from one computer to another computer. So when you are classifying a computers, what on what basis you will classify the computer is, first one is the size, and the second one is what type of data they are storing, and what are the functions of that computers, and what is the speed of that computer. So based on that you can classify the computers. Okay, so based on that information, here we have a different types of computers. Okay, so classification of computers. Computers can be classified in different ways. One is based on the purpose. The second one is based on the data handling. Next, based on the size and the functionality of the computer. For this, I'll give you one example. You have one computer at home, and you have a computer at a research center like a NASA and all. Do you think both systems are same? No, the functionality and the working environment are different. Whatever computers they are using in a NASA research center, that computer is called as a supercomputers, and they are designed for a specific purpose. And whatever computer you are using at home, that computer is designed for a general purpose. Functionality, the speed, the price, and the working. Everything is different compared to the computer which we are using in a NASA centers. So like that, based on different factors, we have different classifications. Okay. So how many types of computers we have? Means how you categorize the computers? Based on the purpose, based on how they are handling the data, and based on the size and functionality of the computer. Okay. So based on the purpose, general purpose and specific purpose. Example, you have a computer at home, that will come under general purpose. Okay, means that is not designed for a specific purpose, but generally anyone can use for any task like that. Next, specific purpose. If you have designed any computer for a specific purpose, like if you are using the computer for only the hospital, the functionality and the design of that system is different, and whatever system you are using in a scanning, that computers are different. So that will come under the specific purpose. Next, come to the based on data handling, means how they are storing a data. Based on that, here we have a different types of computers: analog, digital, and hybrid. For analog, I'll give you an example. In the hospitals also we have a systems. When you are checking a BP and a heartbeat, that you will get the signals like this. Okay, means instead of the content, whatever data you are storing, that is stored in the wave format, that is called as a analog. Same in weather forecasting also. Instead of the digital, instead of the numeric and alphabetic content, what you will store data in a wave format, that will come under the analog. Okay, next digital. Whatever system we are using where the data is stored in a digital format like a zeros and ones, that will come under a digital. Whatever computer we are using, that will come under digital only. Means where the data is stored in the form of binary digits. Next, hybrid. If any system is using this both, every system is storing data in these both formats, that is called as a hybrid. Okay, so based on the data storing, here we have three types of computers. One is the analog, the second one is a digital, and the third one is a hybrid. Now come to the based on the size and the functionality. Based on the size and the functionality. So for this, I will give you one example. You have a system at home, or you have a laptop. Laptop and whatever notebook, one notepad is there, notebook is there. Both are computers only, but size is different. Yes or no? So that will come under the based on the size and the functionality. Functionality example already I have given. Whatever system you are using at NASA and whatever your system using at home, both are systems only, but the functionality is different. So that will come under this category. Okay, so based on the size and the functionality, here we have a microcomputers, next mini computer, mainframe computer, and the supercomputers. Understood? Just you take screenshot of this. Now we will discuss about, actually in your syllabus you don't have these two categories, you have only this. Okay, means you need to discuss about the supercomputer, mini computer, microcomputers, and the mainframe. Okay, now we will discuss about the supercomputers. So based on the functionality, how many computers we have? Based on functionality and the size. Functionality and the size, we have 4 types of computers. First one is a supercomputers, the second one is a mainframe, and the third one is a mini computer, and the fourth one is a microcomputer. Microcomputer again is divided into different types. One is a desktop, next a laptop, next we have notebooks and all. Will come under this category only. You take this screenshot of this also. Now we will discuss about the supercomputer. So supercomputer will come under the functionality, based on the functionality and the size. Okay, supercomputer. So we will discuss point wise. Okay, supercomputers. So supercomputer is a very fast computer. Okay, first one is it's a very fast computer, and it is very expensive computer. Okay, expensive computers, and it is designed for a specific purpose. Means these computers are designed for a special purpose. These are also called as a special purpose computers. Special purpose computers, and it required thousands of mathematical calculations. Okay, actually whatever computers you are using in NASA center, in a weather forecasting, in a different where data is not constant, the data is fluctuating, and which contains a huge volume of data, so that will come under the supercomputers. And whatever speed of this computer, that speed is measured in flops. FLOPS. Flops means floating point operations per second. So it is used to store data. What type of data it stores? Floating point. Means the data is not constant. Every time data will change. That type of data will store inside the supercomputers. Okay, where we'll use this is, it is in a research center, and next research, where we'll use research, weather forecasting. Okay, understood? So this is nothing but a supercomputers. This computer is very expensive and very fast computers, and these computers are designed for a special purpose, and this computer consists of thousands of mathematical calculations. Okay, and supercomputers actually plays an important role in the field of research, and including quantum mechanics, weather forecasting and all. Okay, actually this computers is used to store the large volume of data, and one more point is this computer is designed for only the specific purpose. Means example, if you have a weather forecasting, means this type of computer is designed for only that purpose. And if you have designed this computer for a weather forecasting, and if you want to use that computer for a research in like a NASA, that computer is not suitable. Okay, these computers are designed for only the specific purpose, and it will work on that purpose only. If you want to use that system for multiple tasks, this system is not useful. Okay, and if you have designed the system for only one purpose, in that area only, it performs a task very fastly. Okay, if the example, if transferring data for 1 second, it is transferring example 3 GB, 4 GB. This speed cannot performed by any other computers. It's a very speed, very expensive computers. And these computers are worked in only one particular area, because these computers are designed for specific purpose, special purpose, and you cannot use that computer for a multi-purpose. Understood? So these example already I have explained. In research centers, in weather forecasting, okay, whatever computers we are using today's, that will come under the supercomputers. And supercomputers are designed for the special purpose, and they are very expensive, and they will perform tasks very fastly. And these computers perform thousands of mathematical calculations. Understood? You note down these key points. Now, we'll discuss the second category. What is the second one? Mainframe computers. Okay, first one is a supercomputer. The second one is the mainframe computers. Mainframe computers. Okay, actually, this is also very fast and very expensive computers. Very fast and very expensive computers, and these computers are used by big organizations. Big organizations, like where the huge volume of data is stored. Example, if you take Aadhaar information, if you take any banks, where they have a large volume of data. In that case, they are not using a supercomputer, because supercomputer is used for a specific purpose. So, in the banks, to store Aadhaar information, store voter information, means in that areas, they have large volume of data. So, in that case, what happened? Instead of the general computer, instead of a simple PC, they are using a highly sophisticated computer, that is nothing but the mainframe computers. So, these computers are used by big organization. That is why it is called as a big iron. Big iron. And in this, in a mainframe computers, data can be accessed by multiple users simultaneously. If you take bank example, then more than one person can access their data, and at the same time they can access. Okay, so that is why it is called as a simultaneous. It will support simultaneous access. And at a time the data can be accessed by thousands of users. Thousands of users. Means at the same time, 1000 users, minimum 1000 users can access the same data. And these computers are not designed for a specific purpose. specific purpose means it will run multiple programs simultaneously. Understood? Now it is actually compared to supercomputers, the speed of mainframe computers less. But what advantages we have? Supercomputers are designed for only one purpose, special purpose, whereas mainframe computers are designed for a multiple purpose and multiple users. Multiple users can access the same data at the same time. Understood? And it is also expensive, but it is very less, means compared to the supercomputers, the expenditure is required for this computer is very less. Understood? You note down these key points. And mainly actually why we are using this computer is, we are using this computer actually we are using this computer as a servers. Example, if you take a bank example, other example, they used to maintain data in one centralized system. That centralized system is called as a server. If you take a Facebook example, Facebook data is stored in one place, or if you take a Google information, also your Gmail information, data is stored in one particular place. Means all the users' data is stored in one particular place. That means place is nothing but inside the computer only. But that computer is called as a server. So maximum mainframes are used as a servers only. Understood? So whereas a supercomputer is used in a different areas, in a particular area only. If you want to use that system in other areas, it is not possible. But whereas in case of mainframe, you can use in different areas. Okay, so this is about mainframe computers, and mainframe computers used as a servers. Understand? Now we'll discuss about the mini computers. Here thousands of users, important point. Now come to the mini computer. The third one is a mini computer. Okay, actually mini computers, it lies between workstation and mainframe. Mainframe already I have explained, the system which we are using as a server, that will come under the mainframe. So our mini computers lies between your workstation and the mainframe. Okay, actually workstation means what? In an office or in an organization, we have 5 or 6 systems. Okay, and if they are connecting each other to share the data. Okay, understood? So, and here we are using one system to store data from only the limited number of systems. So this system is called as a workstation. Okay, small workstation means it is connected to a limited number of systems. And here this mini computer can take data and set, means in this mini computers it will support, supports minimum 4 to 200 users simultaneously. Okay, so whereas in case of mainframe computers, 1000 users, minimum 1000 users can access the data at the same time. But when you come to the mini computers, 4 to 200 users can access the data at the same time. And here when you come to the mini computer, it is a middle of, actually it is a mid of mainframe and workstation. And next it is very cheaper compared to supercomputers, mainframe computers, and it works with simple microprocessor. It works with simple microprocessor, and mainly these computers are used for only the record keeping. That's it. Understood? So these are the key points of mini computers. Understood? Mini computers are cheaper than the mainframe computers, and it can access 4 to 200 users at the same time. And next, this lies between your workstation and the mainframe. And what is the main purpose of this is to store the record. So for the record keeping purpose, in the small organization, you can take the system. Understood? Supercomputers in a particular area. There is a mainframe computer you can use in multiple areas, and minimum users thousands, above 1,000. Next, I mean at the same time the mainframe computer can accept request from 1,000 users, multi-user system. Here the here come to the mini computer, it is 4 to 200. Up to 200 requests, means 200 users can access the system at the same time, and it is used for only the record keeping. Understood? You write these key points. The last we will discuss about the microcomputers. Next come to the microcomputers. Microcomputers. See again, these microcomputers are divided into different categories. So one is a desktop, laptop, notebook. Whatever system you are using at home, that will come under the microcomputer only. Okay, first thing is, it is inexpensive, and it works with CPU as microprocessor and simple memory. Okay, and it is used for general purpose at home. You can use for any purpose. And next, it is a portable. You can move from one place to another place very easily. Understood? So this is about your microcomputers. Compared to the supercomputer, mainframe computers and mini computers, microcomputer size is very less, functionality is also very less, and cost is also very less. But when you compare the speed, supercomputer is a very speed computer. Okay, means it will perform thousands of mathematical calculations per second. But what disadvantages we have? It is designed for a specific purpose. Understood? And when you come to the cost also, supercomputer cost is very high compared to the mini computer, microcomputer, mainframe computers. Okay, and where we'll use the supercomputers? In a research center where the data is fluctuating, and mainframe computers we are using as a servers only. And mini computers we are using to store records, means it will access the data, and only the 2,000 users can access the data. Okay, so it will store compared to the mainframe computer, that computer also stores the data, but whatever data they are storing, the size of the data is less compared to the mainframe computers and the supercomputers. Now come to the microcomputers. Here we have a different types of microcomputers: desktop, laptop, and a notebook. I think these are the very familiar gadgets we are using. Okay, so desktop you can move from one place to another place. Laptop you can move from one place to another place. Notebook also you can move from one place to another place. But these computers are inexpensive compared to the mainframe computers, supercomputers, and mini computers. Okay, and here we can store the data, but it will store only the less data, small amount of data compared to the supercomputers, mainframe computers, and mini computers. Understood? Next, here what we are using, CPU as a microprocessor we are using, and you can use this system for only the general purpose. If you want to use this system at the NASA centers, in the banks as a server, it's not possible because the functionality is less compared to the supercomputer, main computer, and microcomputers. Understood? You note down these key points. Okay, this you have to write in the exam. Each and every category you have to explain. Laptop, desktop and a notebook will come under the microcomputers. Okay, the size of the microcomputer is small compared to supercomputer, mainframe computer, microcomputer. Okay, you know about this. So, when you come to your syllabus, whatever computer's classification is there, that is based on the size and functionality. How many we have? 4. Supercomputer, mainframe, mini computer, and next just only one point I'll explain. Supercomputer will use in a particular area, in a specialized area. What area I have explained? Weather forecasting. Mainframe computers we are using as the servers. You can take Aadhaar, you can take the bank and all. And a mini computer in the small organization. Example, we have an organization. In that organization, example, we'll take one example. State Bank of Hyderabad is there. One centralized bank is there. Where is the centralized actually State Bank? In the Koti it is there. So that is called as a mainframe. And whatever State Bank of Hyderabad in Mehedipatnam is using, that will come under the mini computers. Okay? Here up to 200 users can access the data, use the system. And next, microcomputer, whatever system you are using at home, means maximum 2 users. Okay, 1 user can use the system at the same time. Understood? So this is about your classification of computers. Okay, in the next class we will discuss about anatomy of computers. So it depends on the use and the size of the computers. We have a different types of computers. Thank you.